A supplemental deep dive look into ad ranking quality score. Hey everyone, it's Dathan again, and I really wanted to take a deeper dive into ad rank and quality score. As Peter said, the basic formula for ad rank is as simple as what your bid is times what your quality score number is, and that's going to equal your ad rank. However, it's a little more complex than that. So what I want to do is expand on some of the challenges you may run into as you're out there advertising and help you understand what's happening so you can make adjustments and make your advertising that much better. So this basic formula isn't the whole story. There's actually more to it than this. The ad rank secret that most advertisers don't really understand about advertising and where you show and how often you show is that the real internal ad ranking formula Google uses is a formula that looks more like this. What you're bidding times the quality score that you see times what's called ad impact, and that equals your ad rank. Now I just introduced something that many of you are like, what the heck is that? What is ad impact? Well, the reality is Google has this internal measure just how impactful your advertising is. And the ad impact, the best way I can describe it to you is how much of the Google AdWords feature technology and extensions you're using in your advertising. When someone types in a search, how much of the Google technology are you using to impact that searcher to draw them to you? It goes beyond just what your ad is and your landing page and your click-through rate. It goes into really overall, how are you trying to influence that person in your total ad? Here's an example. So going back to what Peter mentioned before, the ad ranking system, when he talked about Lewis, Kathy, and John, I'm going to use that same example to show you ad impact's influence on this. As it was before, Lewis and Kathy were 1 and 2, and John was at the very bottom. You had very poor measures. However, when you add the new area I introduced, ad impact, into that same formula, things change. For the sake of argument, let's say Lewis and Kathy aren't using any of the extra Google technology. They're not using ad extensions, ratings and reviews, snippets, and all the other goodies that are in the Google's algorithm features that you have in your interface. They're not using it. They're just using the basics. However, John, even though he has low quality scores and stuff initially, he decides to use call extensions, site link extensions, call outs, review extensions, ratings and reviews, star ratings, 10 structure, snippets. I mean, he is really using every single tool that Google has available to him on any given ad. Now, by doing this, what Google does is they give John a significant ad impact boost that Lewis and Kathy, quite frankly, don't have. And the Google algorithm will see that and go, you know what? Because of all these extra things that John is doing, we're going to actually help him out without increasing his bid. We're going to move him up to position number 1 and supplant Lewis sometimes and Kathy, or position number 2 sometimes and supplant Kathy. And this goes on, and as he gets more click volume on these, hey, we'll even raise his quality score up. And because of this, now John's going to have an average rating where their position is of 1.5 when his average position was 3 before, and Lewis was 1 and Kathy was 2. This significantly changes the results that John is getting, and all he did was focus in on that ad impact side of that equation, which for your purposes is really using all the technology available to you to impact the searcher. Searcher sees all this stuff going on in this ad, it's really going to draw their attention, and Google's going to reward them for using all of that stuff by giving them higher positions, a higher amount of time they're at the top of the search results, and sometimes they're even going to give them cheaper click costs to reward them for impacting the searcher in a better way. It actually helps Google in its own way because it shows a quality experience that maybe they don't see on Bing or Facebook or any other AOL, any other search provider. They're only seeing this on AdWords and Google, and overall it helps them retain their search customers. So it's a win-win situation for both sides. Now, the other thing I want to go into is quality score and expand on what Peter went into. The reality is everything Peter said is the truth about what happens in there. But like anything, there's insider secrets to manipulating this information. And one of the insider secrets people like myself use is we understand the basic principle that quality score is also a weighted blended average. So it isn't just about landing page experience, click-through rate, or ad relevance. we manipulate the weighted blended average to our benefit. And I'm going to show you what that means and how we do it. So the reality is quality score is actually a blended average of all three device types for the exact match of a keyword. And I'm going to explain that, why I put exact in bold letters there a little bit. But the reality is desktop, mobile, tablet, there's different experiences for people on all of them. All three of those factor into the score you see in your system. So, but there's additionally a weighted side to this based on the number of clicks each device has. And I'll show you in a minute. So here's an example. Let's say I'm using a broad match keyword, Dathan Fairley. Just do myself. Now I intentionally put broad match on here because you're going to see below. Let's say currently my assigned quality score is 8 out of 10. Not too bad. You might wonder, Dathan, it's you. How are you not 10 out of 10? Yeah, I think I'm awesome too, but obviously something's lacking because that's only 8 out of 10. Now, I want you to understand about that number you see there. That assigned score only applies to the exact match keyword of Dathan Fairley, not to the broad match. Now, it's going to be very confusing in your system because in your system for the broad match, it's going to say 8 out of 10. But it doesn't mean the broad match is 8 out of 10. It means the exact match that will show up in the broad match will be 8 out of 10. That's important for you to know as you begin to scale out the search queries within a broad match keyword, which is a topic for another day. But just so you look at that, you can understand what you're looking at. So here's the breakdown of that 8 out of 10 that I got. On desktop computers, I got a perfect 10 out of 10 score. Boom. Yes, people sitting in front of their computers like what I have to say. However, I don't have a mobile optimized page, so my mobile smartphone score is only 4 out of 10. Ugh, tanked. And on tablets, I'm 7 out of 10, so I'm right at the threshold of what's considered high. But because of those different scores, I have a blended average of 8 out of 10. Okay. But here's the kicker. Clicks weights the score. So in this hypothetical situation, let's say on desktop, I got 150 clicks on that keyword. But on mobile devices, the one that had the worst quality score on 4 out of 10, I got 200 clicks on smartphones and only 50 clicks on tablets. And this is why I have an 8 out of 10 quality score. So it's not just the blend, it's the weight. So if I wanted to manipulate this, let's say, man, I need cheaper clicks. I want a higher quality score. I need cheaper clicks. There's a number of things I can do. I can approach this many different ways. Going back to the scores, I can work on my mobile device, make it more mobile optimized, get my base quality score from 4 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. Now, unfortunately, Google keeps these individual device scores top secret. They don't want their competitors to know about it, so they're not letting us know what those are. This is a completely hypothetical situation. So for now, you're only going to see 8 out of 10, the blended weighted score, and it's just going to be what it is. But these are internal. The algorithm is calculating this. And you can see this somewhat through your click-through rates and conversion rates on your devices will give you key indicators of how those devices are doing. So I can work on my mobile device, raise up my score. I can work on tablets to a degree, work on my score. Or I could manipulate which device is getting the clicks. So right now, mobile devices is dominating the clicks. So I could reduce the amount of clicks, raise on mobile devices, smartphones, raise the amount of clicks on tablets or desktops, and that should pull the weight of that up, which, you know, without doing anything other than changing what's getting clicks when, I could go from 8 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 by simply playing with these numbers. So here's an in-depth look of how you can take the basic understandings of ad rank, the basic understandings of quality scores, and when you're actually managing your AdWords accounts, start manipulating the information using the insider secrets to pump out the cheapest clicks and the largest profit margins you possibly can for your business.